Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make my little standing up witch. So she's got hair at the back of her head. This is a technique that Crafty Ladybug thought of, so please give her a big round of applause for that. It's the most fantastic technique, I love it. And we have our little 3D chin and our little hat that's happening here, and our standing skirt. So please make sure that you use the video tutorials that are on YouTube on my channel to make a skirt for her. I will not be making the skirt on this particular tutorial because it takes too long, and I have probably about 5 different ways that you can make a skirt. You just need the black bands. I have not done the frills on the bottom. If you have a loom that does not come apart, there is a video so that you can make it with the growing up technique, which is a feeling spiffy technique, which is absolutely fabulous. You can make it on the monster tail. There's a tutorial for that. You can make it on your regular loom. There's another tutorial for that. So it's up to you to make her skirt. We will not be doing that, but that does allow her to stand up. We will be making our little witch. Okay, so what we're going to do first of all is sort out the colours that we need. We need green and black, and I'm using the mini pony beads white for her eyes. Okay, so I'm going to be using white mini pony beads for her eyes. I'm using my loom in the offset configuration. It's a single loom, and columns 1 and 3 are going to be lower than column 2. The open part of the peg is facing towards you, or the arrow facing towards you. We're going to be double banding, and double banding means you take 2 bands at the same time and place them on the pegs together, and that gives your figure a more robust feel to it. It's not as flimsy and flopsy bunny and whatnot. So we're going to start at first by making this little part of her hat here, and we're going to keep that on a holding hook. Now, if you don't have a holding hook, that's fine. You can use a toothpick, you can use a chopstick, you can use part of a fork, or anything really, but just keep that in mind. So we're going to, as I said, double band, take 2 black bands, and we're going to start here. I'm not using this first set of pegs on the center column. And I've made quite a shallow hat with this particular one, but that's completely up to you. If you want to make it a little bit taller, we can do that for this one and see how we go. Or you do, when I made this original, the original one, I set it out like this, and then I put these from here to here. But if you want to make it a bit taller, we would go up to here and then do another one here. So you've just made this bit longer, and we're going from this center peg to the right and this center peg to the left. I'm going to put an end cap on here, single band wrap it once and twice, and we'll pop that on. We're going to do crossover bands. Now at the top of her hat it comes in, so we're going to take a single band, figure 8, loop it on itself. That's a capped band, and we're going to, now I'm actually going to do it this way. Okay, so we've got the triangles upside down. Usually I go this way, but this is the top of the hat. I'm going to do another one that is tight, so I'm figure 8ing, looping it on itself, and again I'm going to do the upside down triangle, and this one I'm just going to take a single and place it across like that. Now I'm going to do put it on a separate hook. So I'm going to dig down past that end cap and grab those 2 bands and loop them up. Now you have to find the top 2 bands. Now in my case they're these 2. You can always go down like that to grab them. So you sort of go to the side and grab them and loop them to their corresponding peg. Okay. Now I can see that I just dropped one here. So I'm going to go back and find that. There it is there, see? So all it needs to do is go under this band here. So I'm going to poke my hook under, grab it, put it back with the other one, and fix that up. I have to say I find dropped bands annoying. Now this is tight because we've capped these bands, we've looped them on themselves, they're tight, but push the crossover band back. Even though it's tight, push it back with the back of your hook, and you're just grabbing the two bottom bands. Now we're not tying off here because we want to put each of these on when we do her hair. So let's just take them off and keep them on a hook or a chopstick or a pencil, whatever you have. And that is going to be the main part of her hat. We will do her brim, the brim of the hat, in a minute. So that is going to sit up here. Now we're going to do her back of the hair, and we're going to put her straggly old curls there too. So again, double banding. Now the back of her hair is going to be black, which is good because it matches in with her hat. And we are placing them all the way down. I know loads of people have done witches and whatnot, but before you all jump on the bandwagon and scream that people are copying each other, just be aware that as long as things are designed differently and you've got different techniques and different styles, it's actually not copying, it's an idea that's being used. And as long as you're given options on how to make that idea, it's a little bit different. So for example, at Halloween and Christmas and all of those times of year, loads of people are going to be doing bats and ghosts and Father Christmas and love hearts and everything. And it doesn't mean we're all copying each other, it just means that it's the season for all of these things to happen. Well, if you come across a video that is me and somebody else has put them up, you can recognise my rings or my accent or something like that, please by all means let me know, because those you can report because they are stealing. But if two people do a witch or a broomstick or a bat or a ghost, as long as they're different, that's fantastic. It shows creativity. Take a single green band, and we're going to wrap it round our hook once and twice, and we're going to pop it on the end. Now I'm doing green because her skin is going to be green. Alright, so I'm going to now add her hair. Now I've put these crossover bands on, and I didn't even tell you I was doing that, but I'm going to take them off because we'll put her hair on first. So as I said, we're doing her straggly hair. Single black band, wrap it once and twice, and we're doing this with single bands. So take a single band and drop it, put it on the end of your hook, slide the end cap over and reclaim. We're going to do that about 5 times, and that gives it just long enough. I mean, you can do it shorter or longer, however you choose, but I found 5 was probably a good. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, one more. The end cap doesn't count as one, so you've got the end cap, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do another one. Single band, wrap round twice, slide it on to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now for each strand, the 2 strands, I'm going to put 2 strands here. So I'm lifting up these 2 bands and I'm going to slide those on and replace the band. I'm going to do another 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. Single band, wrap twice. And we're sliding on to 5 singles. 2, 3, 4, 5, push that down, do an end cap, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to pop that here and replace. Let's do these ones here. Single, wrap twice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, single, wrap twice. 1, 2, oopsie, 3, 4, and 5. Let's pop this on this side here. Single, once and twice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one more, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we're going to pop that on this one here and replace the bands. Make sure that this is on properly. There we go. Now we can put our crossover bands on. I jumped the gun. So take a single and stretch it in the shape of a triangle over those 3 pegs. We'll do the same up here as well, okay, like that. Okay, now we're going to loop up part of this. So dig down past the green end cap and grab the 2 black bands and loop up. Now we're going to take the first 2, the top 2 bands, loop them to their corresponding side, the next 2 to their corresponding side, and then the middle 2 up. We go up once more in the middle, okay, and push everything down. Now here we're going to find those bottom 2 bands and loop up, and we'll find these bottom 2 bands and loop up, and that's all we do. Okay, push everything down. It needs to be pushed down. We're going to put more bands on here. So the reason we don't do these is because it links in the skin. Okay, so take 2 green bands. We're using green because that's the colour of her skin, and we'll place those here. We're not doing up the top. That's where her hat and the brim of her hat and her hair is. Another 2 here. 2 more, 2 more, make sure you push everything down. You need to have some room. 2 bands for the neck. I always used to do 3, but because we're using this back of the hair technique, I don't use 3 anymore. A single band stretched across is a crossover. We're going to take a single band and we're going to twist it once, twice, and 3 times and place that here over the eyes. The reason I'm doing that is so that when we place the beads for our eyes, they don't fall to the back of the head. Now, if you do not have white bands for eyes, white beads, I'm sorry, for eyes, you can use white bands. It really doesn't matter. You take a single band and you wrap it around your hook once, twice, 3 times and 4 times, and you do that twice. Once, twice, 3 times and 4 times, and these equate to these. So I may have 2 beads that I'm going to be threading on like so, and I'm using beads because I have them. Okay, and you put them on here and you lift this up over that particular peg. If you don't have them, it doesn't matter. Wrap your bands around your hook, slide them onto the skin tone band, position them just as you would if they were a bead, and you place those on and lift. And I'll place it down here so that you can see what I'm talking about. You place them either side like this. You put one side, one band one side, the other side, split the band in the middle like that, and put one over the top like that, just like I've done up here. Okay, it's exactly the same, it doesn't matter. That's just as great. Now, before we go further, we need to take these bands here that were the tie off the end cap for the hair up and over the neckband. That is really important. It ties the neck into the face. If you forget that, you will be screaming at me. Okay, now we're going to do black for her outfit. So let me organise myself. Double black, coming down here for her shoulders. And I'm doing her entirely in black. For her outfit here. So we go 1, 2, 3, and we do come down 4. Like so. Now, if you wanted to make it a little bit funnier, I know in some of the movies you have the red and white stockings for the witches. If you choose to do that, I would use like a red and a white band. Do them like this. Oops. Throw them all over the place. Okay, so you can come all the way down to here, and that's doing it with a red and white. Or the other way you can do it is a pair of white, a pair of red, a pair of white, let's get the hat out of the way, and a pair of red. And I think I probably prefer this way, so let's do both of them the same so we don't look odd. Well, we do look odd, but you know what I mean. So I'm going to do a pair of white, a pair of red, and it's completely up to you. On my first one, as you can see, I did it all black, so it really is completely your decision how you want to do that. Okay, so now I am going to do black shoes for her. If you were doing her from The Wizard of Oz, I guess you could probably do red shoes, but I'm going to do black shoes. I'm going to take 2 bands, wrap around my hook once and twice, and I'm going to slide onto 2 bands. I'm not going to reclaim the end of my bands just yet. I'm going to pretty those up like that. I'm going to take another 2 bands, put them on my hook and wrap once and twice, and then reclaim the end. Now I'm going to take 2 bands and slide all of those on like that. Reclaim the end, angle the foot, and pop it on the end of her leg here. Let's do the same again. 2 bands, wrap once and twice, slide onto 2 bands. Don't reclaim it just yet. Take another 2 bands, wrap once and twice, reclaim now, and slide onto 2 bands. Angle the foot, or reclaim, angle the foot, and pop that on here. We're going to do some groin bands, so 2 bands from the centre to the right, push everything down, from the center to the left. We need an end cap here, so a single band, wrap once and twice. I'm going to pop that here. We're going to do crossover bands, so a single black band. I'm not bothering to give her a slim waist. I'm just going to do single bands all the way up like that. Now we're going to do hands. I'm going to take a single green, wrap it once and twice, and slide onto a pair of green. Now we're going to do some black bands. So we're going to do one pair, two pair, three pair, four pair. Now I'm not going to reclaim just yet. I'm going to take another pair and put them on here and slide those on and reclaim. Then I'm going to reclaim these two, those two loops, and take another two black and reclaim like so. So I'm like that now. Can you see? Let's take another pair and slide on, and this will give her a puffy sleeve for her dress. So let's pop that here, and we'll do the same on the other side. A single green, wrap once and twice, slide onto a pair of green, and then we're going to do our black pairs. There's one, two, three, oops, that's three, four, don't reclaim, take another two, put them on the end of your hook and slide over, reclaim those, and then you're going to reclaim these two and put another two on the end of your hook and slide those over, reclaim, using another two, join all of those together, pretty them up a bit, reclaim the end, move those out of the way so I don't fling them over the office, and we will pop that here like so. Now her chin, we're actually going to do a little extension for her chin. So we're not ready to do that. Same for her nose. Let's dig down here and start looping up her stockings. Now I'm looping the white up here because I want the black to go over it. It's a bit different from when I'm doing trousers, pants. Dig down past the end cap and grab the two black bands and loop to the side. Push down if you don't have much room. Do the same for the other side, and then the middle one goes up the center. I tend to stop about here so I can loop the arms in first. Dig down here, you're finding two bottom black bands, and we're going to loop up, including the arms. Dig down, find those two, loop to the neck, find the two, loop to the neck. Now we're going to loop this one in here. Okay, what I'm going to do next is take her body, this part, off my loom. Okay, I'm taking her legs off at this stage. I'm going to do a tiny little chin extension. Okay, and I'm going to start by putting two bands here, two here. Well, that one looks like it's, wow, that's horrid. Move that away. It's sort of fraying. And two here. I'm going to take two bands from the center. That one's doing it too, very odd. To the center. I'm going to take a single band loop it on itself and place that across there, and I'm going to put an end cap on here. So a single band, wrap it once, twice and 3 times for that. I want that one to be tight. Okay, and I'm going to pop that on this peg. Now it's tricky, so I tend to go through, go over one part of this side here and then move it across. Now we're going to dig down past that end cap and grab the 2 top green bands and loop to the side. Do the same for the other side if you can. There we go. Oh. Same for the middle, going up. Now I'm actually going to push this one in front like that and loop up and loop these like so. I'm going to add these to her chin at the top. Okay, I'm going to take this off my loom and try not to get it too twisted. You can see I did there, but I'm going to untwist those. Alright, and we're going to put this on her chin here. So first of all, what we need to do is loop up what we have. So I'm putting this on the little holding hook for the minute. Dig down, find the 2 green bands and loop up. Find the next top 2 green bands and loop up to the side, and to the side. Once we're at this stage, this is where we can add our chin. Okay, and you're going to have 4 little loops for each peg. So we're going to put the first 2 here. Alright, and we're going to put the next, the first 4, the next one, the 2 bands, and the next one here. Stay in place. Alright, dig down, we're finding those 2 bottom green bands. Let's make sure this stays in place. Thank you. 2 bottom green bands. Now they're not at the very bottom, they're sort of at the top of the black bands. Okay, but you don't want the black bands, you just want the green bands. And down here we're looking for the 2 green bands. Now this will be a bit tricky. I've done one. You don't want to include the end cap, the green end cap. Okay, let's loop this one up here. Now at this stage we're going to add a little well, what am I going to call it? It's kind of like a loop so that we can do the brim of her hat. So I'm going to take a single black band and wrap it round once and twice and slide onto 2 black bands. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I want to go down past the crossover bands, okay, and come out. Let's turn this around so you can see. I don't want to include these bands here, so I'm going down past the crossover bands, but I'm staying in this section. Alright, I'm going to drag this back like so and reclaim, okay, like that. And I'm going to put this on here. So I have these little loops here. Alright, let's do the same again. Single, once and twice. Slide on, take them off. Coming down here, past all of those black bands, except those very bottom 2. Grab this on your hook, pull it back up through the peg, reclaim and pop on like that. So you've got these 2 side loops here, okay, on the side of her head. Now we can dig down and loop up those 2 very, very bottom black bands. We'll loop up the center here Now we're adding the hat part. Okay, so we've got 4 loops, 4 loops and 4 loops. I'm going to take the first 4 loops and pull them off our loom. No, hook. So the first 4 loops, they are going to go here. And it is tricky. I'm not going to lift fibs. It is tricky. Push them down so that they stay in place. The next 4 loops go in the center. So kind of hold the other ones back and stretch these out. If you have 2 hooks, that's the other option that you can do, is take one set off. Okay, like that. You can say, okay, I'm going to put these ones on first, and then you have just the middle ones left to do. So spread them out and put them on like that. Okay, dig down, find the bottom 2 black bands and loop to the center. Dig down, bottom 2 bands and loop to the center. There's a lot of bands on there, so it gets a bit crowded. Take 2 black bands, get that out the way. Dig down, out the side here, put your 2 black bands on, and you're going to pull that through and to the top of the peg. Okay, now I'm going to let go. Here they are here. I'm letting go. I'm turning my loom over. I'm going to pull the hat up and poke my hook through the bottom of it, and I'm going to put those 2 little loops, those tie-off loops, on my hook, and then I'm going to stretch it back again and pull those back so that I have them on the same side at the back of the hat. Taking my hook out, I'm going to put both of those loops on and take 2 over the other and pull tight in a slip knot. She's ready for us to take off the loom. So I ease her off with the back of a hook, of a metal hook. Because there are a lot of bands involved. This looks a bit odd at the minute, don't worry too much. Where are those little... Ah, there they are. So, pop this up here. Here's that crazy hair. Now, you want to try and pull her chin down to do her nose. So 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to, there we go, untwist that band a bit. 1, 2, 3. That's a little better. Now, the trick is to lift these over instead of roll them, and it's hard because they're small and tight, but you want to try and lift it over and pull it down. Now see, I've got one that's twisted there. I want to try and make it so that that's not as twisted, so I'm just going to roll this back and forward a few times, reclaim the end. Let's see if this looks any better this time, and pull. I think it does. I think that looks better. One band one side and the other band the other side. So if you can just pull one to one side, I suppose. It works just as well, doesn't it? And then put the other one through and grab and pull that one go to the back of her head, angle her nose a bit, and you could just use a little tie-off band. I would use a little black tie-off band here, slip knot, and you can hide that up the back of her hair here. And same with these bands as well, you can hide those at the back of her hair, these tie-off bands. Slip your hook through between the skin and the hair and pull them through so that they sit hidden like that. Now, for this particular character, this one, I had the chin as an extension on her, on the actual loom. For this one, I added it after the fact, and I do think I prefer that one, but this is one option. I will show you how to do the other option as well. Let's just draw her eyes on quickly with the black Sharpie. And we will do the brim of her hat. Now, we have these are the little loops that we put either side. So you're going to go through one, take two bands, pull through and reclaim, and we're just going to do a chain. And this gets wrapped around her head like this, okay? So we're just going to keep doing the chain until it goes all the way around. And I am double banding. Now, take the hook off. You're going to find the other little chain that you did here. I can see it right there. That was the other little chain that I had. I'm going to push my hook. I'm going to use a smaller one so that I can do it quickly. Push my hook through like that. I'm going to grab these ends, okay, and I'm going to move them through that little side bit there. This just kind of keeps her hat at the center, you know, it stops it from flying all over the place. So pull that through. Now we've got a few more chains that we need to do. Till it matches and meets up to the other side, which is here. Okay, so what you're going to do, go through that little, I'm going to call it an end cap. You want to go through one side of the chain, go through the end cap and the other side of the chain, so the end cap is in the middle. Then with a single band, go through all of those and tie off in a little slip knot like that, and you can hide that in the hat or through the hair or wherever really. Pull that to the back like so. So there is her little hat, her big old chin, stretch her into shape. I like to do the arms up and down, her spindly little legs. Now to put her in the skirt you will need a spoon. Once you've made the skirt, okay, pop her legs in like so, push her down, and I think I actually made this one a little bit long, but you you get the idea. So there is our little witch in her standing skirt. She's a bit top heavy with her head, but if you angle her right, she will stand. Now, the other thing is, if you don't want to do her chin like this, if you want it to stick out a little bit more, similar to how this one is, instead of adding it as part of her face, let me move this out of the way and get some scissors. What you can do is add it after the fact as a little extension. So let me see if I can take this apart without ruining it. Well, it's going to ruin, but you know what I mean. Let's take this chin off, and I'll show you how you can do one. Okay, so there's her little face without the chin, and you can leave her like that. It doesn't really matter. So to do her chin the other way, I'm actually going to take her nose off as well, and we're going to do that as a combined little effort here. We're going to take our loom. It's going to be in the offset configuration, double banding. We're going to put 2 bands at the top, 2 bands from the center to the left, 2 bands from the center to the right, and you're going to put an end cap on the end, a single band, wrap it once and twice, and pop that, oopsie, on that peg there. Okay, finding out which one is on the top, which in my case is the right, we're going to go past the end cap and grab those 2 bands that loop to the right and loop them in. Do the same for the 2 bands on the left, and then the same for the 2 bands in the middle. Alright, we're going to collect these up, so take them off your loom, so you have all of those, see, all of those loops on your loom like that. Move your loom out of the way, you don't need it anymore. Take 2 bands, and you're going to slide all of those loops onto those 2 bands, so it looks like that. Okay, now take your hook out with your nose, well, not your nose, but the witch's nose. You're going to split the sides of the bands. You want one side to come out either side of the face. So I would like my nose to come out about here, but what I'm going to do is poke my hook through the side of her face till I'm in the middle, grab one side of the loop for her nose and pull it back through like that. I'm going to do the same for the other side. Okay, so go through the side and pull. I have both the loops for her nose either side, and we can pretty up her nose after the fact. Okay, I'm going to take my hook out, so I have these 2 little loops here. Now I want to attach her jaw, but I sort of want to attach her jaw a little bit lower, so I'm going to come down here and pull that loop through the bottom there. It's going to be a bit tricky, so I'm going to hold one side of my jaw, okay, on my hook. I'm going to grab that little side band there that was for her nose, which I pulled down, okay, and I'm going to slide those 2 bands for the jaw onto it, and then I'm going to hold that. Now if you have a holding hook, if you have something else to hold that with, a toothpick, anything really, just so that it doesn't go walkabout, that would be fantastic. Okay, so there's the little loop is right there. You really don't want that going walkabout. You could use, I'm trying to think, I have a paper clip that I was using to make my little bridegroom stand up. So here we go, let's put that through there and hold it, so I can still use my hook. Now again, this side here, we want it to come through here. Poke your hook through, grab that little band that was for the nose and poke it under here. Alright, hold it with your fingers. Push your hook through the 2 loops for the jaw, if you can get your fingers working. There we go. Put the loop for the nose on your hook and slide the 2 loops for the jaw over the loop for the nose. You have your 2 noses, 2 nose bands here. You're going to move this loop down further down your hook, okay? Push your hook to the back, so through her face, between her face and her hair, okay, between her face and her hair, and you are going to attach the other end of the nose, the other end of the nose band from the other side that was on your paper clip onto that. So you've got both of those hooks, both of those loops on your hook. Pull one toward the other so you have them both on the same side. Take another band and you're going to tie that off in a slip knot. So take it through, reclaim, one over the other and pull tight. That has formed a slip knot, and you're going to hide that green band at the back of her head up here, and it can be anywhere at the back of her head. I mean, just stick your hook through the back of her head here and pull that green band up the center, just so that it's hidden in the back. I can see that this black band has come free, so I'm going to hide that under the black as well. And that, I think, is a much nicer jaw and nose. You can sort of twist it so that it's pointing this way instead, so it sort of looks a little bit more like she's got a pointed chin and a pointed nose. I think that one looks a little better, and that's my preferred way of doing it. So there you go, there is your witch, your standing witch. She's a bit top heavy. Push her feet in so she can stand up. Stand! Nope, she's going to fall over for me. There we go, she does stand. I hope you enjoyed making her. Take care, bye bye.